Sam Marshall shares uplifting stories and conversations with people making Johannesburg and the world a better place.
So, I don't know if you know this, it was a big story. There was a very young South African lady, incredibly strong, Angela Yeung, who is the founder of Impilo Collection Foundation and Brand South Africa Ambassador. She's not only a celebrated jeweler, but she's also a trailblazing philanthropist. And what she did was, get this, she's the second South African woman to summit Everest north side, carrying a message with her and hoping to raise money for thousands of bras for GBV survivors. And she combined these two elements and raised a lot of awareness, right? But it's extreme. Angela, it's extreme. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's extreme, right?
It was extreme.
I can't begin to. I think you're one of few people in the world that can now hold it. Tell us a little bit about summiting that side and being the only second South African woman to do it.
Yeah, so it was part of the history.
Oh, welcome back, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome
Sam.
back from Mount Everest. I can smell the snow on you.
Oh, still, that's why it's cold here, right? So it was quite dramatic. I think people fantasizing that when you get to the top of the world is you must be so excited. There's actually nothing like that, hey? When we summited that night, the snow was really heavy and the wind was very strong.
Wow.
So the whole time I could feel this laser coming on my face. You can still see I have frostbite on my face now.
Yes, I can see, yeah.
Yeah, so that I feel laser cutting on my face the whole time. It's like, going into my face. And then the queues start accumulating because everybody, that summer period is only like 1 day or 2 days. So everybody is trying to get to the top.
Yeah. And
then like it was freezing cold from minus 35 to minus 50, especially during the nights when we doing the summer push. On the way, I actually seen bodies around.
Yeah, I was about to ask you.
Yeah, you see the body. They cover it, but you can still see it's a body there. You kind of start questioning yourself, would that be me? Because most people die on the way back, not on the way to summit.
Yeah.
You still have a lot of energy to try to get to summit. But like you climb through 12, 13 hours the whole time, you get to the summit.
I mean, so far, 3 fatalities this year alone at Mount Everest?
Yeah.
So this is serious. This
Yes.
is not.
And I think that this is the worst year of frostbite this year. So you get to the top, you can't stay for too long. I take out the bra, take the picture, our South African flag.
And you need to go down. You need to get out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
What was it like, Angela? Because I remember having a conversation with you in terms of your preparation. Look, to be honest with you, I mean, it doesn't get more gutsy and ballsy than that, right? It's gutsy to say I'm going to summit Mount Everest. I'm going to be on the north side. I'm going to be only the second woman to have ever done it. And the gap between the first and you were like decades.
26 years. 26
years. Decades, man. It wasn't. So it means it's not something you can do nilly-willy. We'll decide this year to do it later this year. This is like serious preparation. But what was the thinking?
Yeah.
What it would be like, and what was the actual standing there, arriving, and then starting the summit and seeing the body? What was that like?
It was a time to just thinking about what is the purpose, really. You have to really dig deep. And when you get there, you can't get too excited.
Yeah. But you were excited in the lead up, right? Everybody is like egging you on and saying, it's going to be amazing, but we've never been there.
I still try to be very contained.
Yeah.
I try not to be too overexcited or too, or getting very emotional. I was just really contained because when you are in the moment, every steps,
Yeah.
that's how you focus on, because you don't want anything to jeopardize it.
Yeah.
So when you get to the top, you really just, okay, it was extreme cold and your hands get very frozen, you can't even feel your hands. That's actually quite dangerous. You need to know, when my Sherpa said to me, let's go down, I didn't hesitate.
The Sherpas are amazing, eh?
Yeah, they were amazing.
Yeah, the documentary that I watched on the Sherpas is amazing.
Yeah, they are like superhuman.
Yeah.
Very strong people. And when they told me, let's go, that second, I'm without hesitations. You look around, I see the people coming from the south side, and I saw it was just like in space, but we were climbing to the space.
Yeah.
It wasn't with.
What is that again? How far are you going up?
It's 8849 meters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So
8894 meters. 8,000.
849.
So it's 8,000, huh?
Yes. So this is my second 8,000 meters climb. So you get to the top, you just 1 second, I say to myself, no, I need to go down. This is not a place to be. I'm glad I did that, because one of our climber got blisters and he got frostbite very badly. And I think his 2 fingers need to be removed. So it just, if that second you get too overexcited, you're not able to control your emotion, that's what happened to you.
Yeah.
It's not about taking more pictures, It's not about.
So every aspect of it has to be planned down to the detail.
Exactly.
Or you end up being the body you saw.
Exactly.
On your way up to the summit.
Actually, maybe on the way down.
Okay.
Because you need to reserve. That's just a halfway point when you summit. You need to reserve that energy to come down. Coming down are more dangerous because you got against the wind.
Yeah.
The whole time you have to look backwards to make sure that you anchor yourself at the right place.
It's mind-blowing that it is still, obviously it's dangerous, obviously. But it's still mind-blowing that you still have so many fatalities when people willingly go. Because I bumped into you in the mall.
Yes.
Literally a couple of days before you left.
Yes.
You were looking fit. You were out walking everybody else. And where do you have to go mentally and physically? Because it's so extreme.
Yeah.
It's 8,000 meters you're going up.
Yes.
There's literally a body on the trail.
Yeah.
Where do you go mentally and physically to be able to do that summit and then to descend? Because as you said, you get to the top, and it's not like you can hang out for an hour there, have a cup of coffee, chat to your friends. It's just extreme.
Yes.
And how long were you on top and before you had to immediately descend?
It was almost, I think, 8 minutes the most.
So you were up 8 minutes. Okay, all of that. And how long did it take you to get up?
12, 13 hours.
So 12, 13 hours to the top, 8 minutes, and then you immediately have to come down.
Yes.
And then I assume it's another 12, 13 hours down, right?
Yeah, coming down is better. 6 hours.
6 hours, okay, so that's half the time.
Yeah, so you almost climb the whole day, 20 hours.
Yeah, so you're climbing and then you're kind of descending, but you've also got that vertical that's driving you forward, right?
Yes.
And what was that like? Where do you have to go mentally?
I think I do a lot of chanting, so that helped me a lot. Just really be in the moment, and then knowing people here at Homa are also doing a lot of sending me messages and making sure that I'm safe, and I think they were saying to me, you got this. You just felt like, I got this,
Until you get there.
Yeah.
And then you go, maybe I got this, maybe. When I left, I got it, but I'm here, maybe.
Yeah, it's just like all the time you self-doubted. Where's that confidence coming from? But you need to have that, yes, I'm
the resolve.
The resolve, yes. A resilient, every moment of it.
Yeah.
It's just.
At what point, Angela, did it become painful? Because you're saying I can see that you still have that. At what point did you have to get past the pain?
It's all the time. So I actually hurt my back before I climb Everest. I fall off on my mountain bike. So I
And
have
how
this.
long was this before?
It was in January.
Okay.
January. So April, I start climbing. The whole month, I can feel this sciatica coming down on to my toes. So it was quite painful. But one stage, I actually felt like I'm disappearing because the wind was so strong every night in the tent. It was banging on, you can't even sleep because only.
Well, I can't imagine, but
You can only hear this bang, 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 bang going on your tent. And I couldn't breathe because when the wind comes, the air pressure dropped. Then you can't really breathe. At night, you're lying there, you suffer. And then you hear this avalanche coming down because the wind. So it's like everything coming together. You're doubting, Then I was just really like sending text messages to my family because you can't talk to them. I have a satellite device that you can text them. But it was daunting. At that moment you feel like, wow, is this the right decision that I'm here for, But you make a decision, you commit to it. And I think that's so important when you're in that situation. Otherwise, anytime the mountain reflect who you are, that if you're not brave enough, you're going back down. Anytime you get sick, you can't carry on going. How do you look after yourself? Those are the things that you need to really pay attention to.
And what kind of conversations are you having at that point? Because you're going through your own experience, but there's also a community of other people, right, that are climbing that. And as you said, which is so beautiful, the mountain reflects who you are.
Yeah, to the bone.
And so what kind of conversations are you having with other people? Is there the same level of reflection, introspection?
I don't think
so. Is it very solitary?
It wasn't. It's so sad, actually. Because, we have the American, we have the German, we have one Pakistan guy also in our team. So I really felt very proud to be South African. Yeah, and I see our humility come through when it comes to a hard time. You're not just there for yourself. We're really there to try to look out for other people's. But not everybody have that kind of sense of community, But you just shut down the noise. You focus on yourself. You don't moan and groan and just focus, Yeah, I think that's really come through, that I can see that being African, we have that
that spirit of
Ubuntu,
yes. That connectedness.
Yes.
When you saw the dead body, and what was going through your mind?
Well, I actually had a conversation with that body. I kind of bowed to him. I think it's a shepherd that was the shepherd's body, and I felt like, are you rested? Are you rested in such extreme conditions every day? How could a soul be rested? Like still thinking about that. Sometime I will chant towards that. A lot of respect. People come before us. Those are the people who make history. Who experienced that before us. So we know you can't make mistake because this is what's going to be.
That is incredibly profound. So you obviously are going through these experiences, you're busy texting your family, but you're there for a much bigger cause, right?
Yes.
There's something else that's driving this. I mean, look, there is, of course, the spirit of adventure that you go through, but it's the bigger issue
Absolutely.
of gender-based violence.
Yeah.
Before I want to talk about the actual cause, I just want to talk about, for you, because it's interesting when you say the mountain reflects who you are, and then there is the cause.
Yes.
And I wonder at which point do you then go, oh, I hurt my back in January, I've made it this far, maybe I can go back down, or maybe I can turn around and I've done something amazing. at which point, what motivation kicked in at which point?
And especially the time when my shepherd says to us, we're going back down.
Yeah.
When we get to 8,300 meters, we almost summit.
Almost there.
Yeah. But he says to us, typhoon is coming. I said, what is typhoon? It's actually typhoon is coming.
I was wondering, a tycoon would land in a helicopter on the summit, right? And just give everybody a billion and then fly off. That's a good thing. It's not a bad thing if a tycoon is coming, but a typhoon, that's
coming.
not good.
Okay, wow. Okay. So you
So
can't.
he gets the notification that a typhoon is on its way.
Yes.
It's imminent,
Yes,
right?
it's coming from India. So it was quite like, wow, no. Then you start asking yourself, no, okay, my purpose, my goal, and the reason I'm here for is really to raise 8849 bras
Yeah,
for gender-based violence
victims, yeah.
and
raise awareness.
yes, exactly. So when we at the base camp, the shepherd helped me to lay out the bras. I said to them, I need to lay this out. Come and help me. They all came and helped me. So that was the purpose kick in.
Yeah.
Really have to think about first things.
So you're telling the Sherpa we're not going because there's about 100 meters or whatever left.
I can't say that we can't because I don't want to.
There's a typhoon coming. So what's happening?
But I said to him, let's just stay another night. So we stay another night, and then to just observe what's happening with the weather. We end up have a weather open period for that night.
Wow.
You need to listen to yourself. And knowing beside risking your life, but need to be sensible as well. Let's just wait and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, we did. And then we had that period of time we go and we pushed forward. It was just, I felt it was a collective power was there to really, really look after me. It was such a blessing. Because if I don't have a reason, I don't have a goal, I don't see that I could push through it. But I know there was a collective power. People were still collecting bras here at home. That's knowing that.
Because that's what the campaign was about. The campaign was to raise the awareness for gender-based violence victims, but then at the same time use it as a drive to collect all these bras.
Exactly. So while people are dropping off, they also climbing with me, I feel people at home are here with me. So it was just that collective power.
Yeah. That's quite interesting because I often ask myself, what does it feel like? Because sometimes people will say, I went through this very difficult moment and it was the prayers of my parents and my family and my friends, and that kept me going. And as somebody who's never experienced that, what does that mean? What is it? Is that hope?
Yes. Is
that hope?
It was hope and faith. Having, knowing that you can do this. It was, when I came home, I only realized that, from my community, through the continent of Africa, they were sending us messages, says, chant for Angela, because she's almost there.
Yeah.
She need our, our support.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was kind of, it was just definitely because that place you can either come back injured or something could happen to you with your fingers or your toes.
Yeah.
I only came back with my toenails are all blues.
Okay. So that's the minimal damage, was that your toenails are blue.
Yeah.
Maybe we must maybe do a road show and people pay to see your blue toenails. And I want to touch on the campaign as well. But I just want to kind of wrap up this conversation in terms of just that experience. There was a series that I watched on YouTube called Alone, right?
Yeah.
Where this person or this man or woman, and they literally live alone by themselves. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Tim. but it's such a profound because they're by themselves and they're recording themselves every night, and then they have this moment, and then they go back after this period, they reintegrate back into normal society, and they have fundamentally shifted, right? So they've shifted to a more quiet space, more reflective. What was the shift like for you, having summited, seen all you've seen? There was this bigger mission of raising that, then coming home. What was that shift? And obviously you're still visibly carrying the scars of that summit. What was that shift like for you, and what was that shift?
The shift, I think, I feel more contained, really, yeah. I felt humble, really humble. Nothing changed me, Not like that I'm better coming back from the, top of the world. But just, really grateful, I think. A lot of gratitude. I don't see a tremendous shift, but I can see that really making impossible possible. That's like you have a goal, you're able to just focus on that it's possible because you really work towards it. So it took me 7 years to get to where I am.
Wow.
Yeah. But I never thought that I was it wasn't my bucket list to go and take this off at all. I really felt the mountain call me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not attracted to adrenaline the same way an adrenaline junkie is.
No.
You don't want to swim with sharks and feed sharks and stuff.
I don't see that.
But this was something that was a calling almost.
Exactly. And I'm not the fastest person in my group. I'm always the one at the back playing catch up, But I don't feel intimidated by them at all because I have my own pace and I just keep stepping. And it was about endurance.
Yeah.
It is not about how fit you are, but how further you can go.
Yeah. And it's quite interesting because I think there's a metaphor for life there because when you're talking about stepping one foot in front of the other, I think we forget the basics, right? The basics is about one step.
Yes.
Yeah, you can get knocked down, but one step.
Yeah.
And eventually you get there. And the wisdom of the 8 minutes for me is that situations are situations.
Yes.
We can't stop. I mean, of course, would it be nice to spend 2, 3, 4 hours there if you could? For sure, but the conditions doesn't allow it.
Yes.
But I love this idea of just moving forward.
Yeah, everything is go back to basic. You don't bring too much stuff. We try to eliminate and make sure everything is basic.
Contained.
Need. Yes. And you actually don't need a lot to live. We try to have everything, No, you don't. You go back to nature. That's all you need is water, very basic food. You survive. You go and just be in the moment. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, thank you. I wasn't there with you, but I can feel the impact with your words. And I think it's just always such a tremendous moment when you get to speak to people that have done something that many of us don't even dream of. Some of us, a few of us, but to go, as you said, past your limit, to do the impossible, I think that's quite phenomenal. So, at the end of it, the campaign.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
Did you manage to get to that number, and what was the number?
We only got 6,800.
Okay.
We need another 2,000.
You need another 2,000 bras.
Bras, yes.
Yeah.
And we actually planning to have art exhibitions with the bras.
Okay.
Yeah, and people have no idea what is the impact of a bra. And why are we wearing it? I think people just think it's just a basic thing, and they took it for granted.
It's a garment. That's what it is.
Yeah, and what is the support? And what is the history? How did it come from? So those are the things that we wanted to showcase and to raise awareness. And
for those that don't know, Angela, the impact of a bra, I mean, far than just being a garment and stuff like that. But why that as a symbol?
Yes. So one of the girls, when I went to visit them and gave them the sanitary pads, and she asked me, next time when you come, can you bring us some bra? And that's how I realized perpetrators see that as an invitation or sexual attention. That's how they needed the bras to protect them. And yeah, if we think about a bra with, we take it for granted. It's like, it's almost 100 or 200 rand a bra, basic.
It's become very expensive.
Yeah.
And so you managed to raise 6,000. You're going to do the exhibition now. But I know there's just so much content from... Where can people go to just engage with the story and stuff?
Please come to our website if you'd like to donate a bra for 25 rand. That's you can always go into our website, www.impilo foundation.org. That's our website. You can also, all the drop-off points are there, and you can drop off any bras by any point.
Okay, now you've done Everest. Any plans to go back?
No. I have to have a good reason.
No. Maybe 10,000
I feel
bras.
sorry for my family, Shame.
Because you've done Everest, Kilimanjaro, you've done so many peaks now.
Yeah.
So obviously, every time you prepare for these, your family go on the same journey with you in a way.
I think they are more nervous than me, because they have no control. Yeah.
What's next?
What's next?
Because I know Impilo is a full-time job for you. The work the foundation does, the advocacy work, and we're going to encourage everybody to go and check it out. The work that you do, but then also you're a jeweler. You've got
that's my bread and butter.
Yeah.
I need to keep my every daily life.
That's the thing that pays the bills.
Yes,
so
exactly.
You've got to go back to that.
Yes, exactly. So we are busy creating a range of mountains.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's beautiful mountain bracelets and pendants.
When will that be ready?
I should be launching by next month.
Okay,
yeah,
that's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah,
Angela, always a pleasure talking to you. Really, really appreciate it. Only the second South African woman in nearly 3 decades to summit Mount Everest on the north side. So that's really, really a massive moment. And of course, she did it for victims of gender-based violence. And at the same time, it's nice to have this conversation because we are literally a couple of days away from Women's Month. So go to the Impilo platform and go and find out how you can lend your support. Go and get Angela's story. Angela, always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, Angela Yeung, mountaineer, philanthropist, jeweler, and quirky, right? You're like this just quirky adrenaline chasing South African who's really flying the flag high for us, incredibly high.
Feel the positivity.